Your dog follows you to the bathroom, sleeps at your feet, and gets excited when you come home. Sure, those are nice signs of love, but they barely scratch the surface of what's really going on. When a dog chooses you as their mom, the bond goes far beyond a regular pet and owner relationship. It's so strong that it actually mirrors the connection between a wolf pup and its mother in the wild. The really amazing part is that most dog owners completely miss these deeper signals. They're looking for simple signs of affection when they should be watching for something much more powerful and meaningful. Number 9. They touch you for 1 second after being scared. Something loud happens in your house. Maybe a door slams or something falls. Or you hear thunder. Your dog gets startled and scared. Now, most dogs will either run and hide somewhere safe, or they'll come to you wanting lots of comfort and petting for several minutes. But dogs who see you as their actual mother do something completely different that most people never even notice. They'll come to you quickly, bump into you for literally 1 second, maybe just a quick lean against your leg or a nose touch on your hand, and then immediately walk away like absolutely nothing happened. They don't stick around for comfort. They don't need you to pet them or tell them it's okay. They just need that one quick touch, and boom, they're fine again. This might seem weird or even like your dog doesn't really need you, but it's actually the complete opposite. What's happening here is that your dog is using you like a reset button for their emotions. That quick touch is all they need to feel safe again. Dogs who do this have such deep trust in you that just confirming you're there makes all their fear disappear instantly. Think about it this way. When a small child gets scared, they might run to their mom, get a quick hug, and then immediately go back to playing. They don't need a long conversation about what scared them. They just need to know mom is there. Your dog is doing the exact same thing. That 1 second touch tells their brain, my safe person is here. Everything is fine now. The really fascinating part is what happens inside your dog's body during this quick touch. Their stress levels drop immediately. Their heart rate goes back to normal. All the panic chemicals in their body start disappearing. And all of this happens from just 1 second of contact with you. Dogs who don't have this deep bond might need 5, 10, or even 15 minutes of comfort to calm down. But your dog? 1 second of touching you, and they're completely reset. Number 8. They stay exactly 6 feet away when you change your routine. Tomorrow morning, try something different. Do everything in your normal morning routine, but in a completely different order. Maybe brush your teeth before making coffee instead of after. Eat breakfast in the living room instead of the kitchen. Take a shower at a different time than usual. Then watch what your dog does. Dogs with normal, regular bonds with their owners will often get confused or anxious when routines change. Some dogs will whine or pace around nervously. Others might paw at you or try to get your attention, almost like they're asking, what's going on? This isn't right. But dogs who have that special mother-level bond with you will do something that researchers only recently discovered. They'll create an invisible bubble around you that's exactly 6 to 10 feet. Not 5 feet, not 15 feet, but specifically 6 to 10 feet. And here's the really interesting part. They maintain this exact distance no matter where you go or what you're doing differently. You move to a different room, they quietly reposition themselves to maintain that distance. You sit in a chair you never use, they find a spot 6 to 10 feet away. They don't make a big deal about it either. There's no whining, no pawing at you, no signs of stress or confusion. They just silently adjust their position like a satellite orbiting around Earth, always maintaining that perfect distance. They keep you in their peripheral vision. That's their side vision at all times. But they're not staring at you or crowding you. Why 6 to 10 feet? This specific distance allows them to do 2 important things. First, they can get to you quickly if something happens, or if you need them. Second, they're far enough away that they're not interfering with whatever you're doing. It's the perfect distance for monitoring without being annoying. Here's something that might surprise you. Dogs who follow you super closely during routine changes, like right at your heels, are actually showing anxiety, not love. They're stressed about the changes and need to be close to feel safe. But dogs with that deep mother bond, they trust you completely. They know you're not disappearing just because Tuesday morning looks different than Monday morning. They give you space while still keeping you in sight. The wild part is that nobody teaches dogs to do this. It's programmed deep in their DNA, from thousands of years ago when wolves lived in the wild. Wolf pups who could adapt to their mother's changing routines while still maintaining visual contact were the ones who survived. Your dog inherited this ancient behavior, and they're using it with you because in their mind, you're not just their owner, you are their mother. Number 7, they beg for food but don't actually eat it. This behavior drives so many dog owners absolutely crazy, and they have no idea what's really happening. Your dog begs and begs for a piece of your sandwich. They give you those sad puppy eyes, maybe even whine a little. Finally, you give in and hand them a piece. And what do? They just sniff it or take it and walk away, but don't even eat it. Or maybe they only eat their regular dinner after you've started eating your own food first. Most people think their dog is being picky or playing games. But what's actually happening is so much deeper and more meaningful than that. Your dog doesn't actually want your food. What they want is confirmation that you're willing to share resources with them. In their mind, sharing food isn't about being hungry. It's about belonging to the same family unit. Think about how families work. Family members share food with each other. They eat together, they offer each other bites, they make sure everyone has enough. Your dog is trying to establish this same pattern with you. When you give them food from your plate, you're not just feeding them. You're saying, yes, you're part of my inner circle. We share resources. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Dogs who have this deep mother bond often do something that seems totally bizarre. They'll take that piece of food you gave them, carry it to their bed or their favorite spot, and just leave it there. They're not saving it for later. They're not being wasteful. They are completing what animal experts call an attachment ritual. The food has become a token, a symbol that represents your bond. Having it is more important than eating it. Some dogs take this even further, and this really confuses their owners. They'll bring you their own treats or toys and leave them at your feet. Not to play, not for you to throw them, but just to leave them there. Then they walk away. What they're doing is confirming that the resource sharing goes both directions. They're saying, I share with you too. Number 6, they do a security check before bed. About 30 minutes before your dog decides to go to sleep, and this is important, it's not when you go to bed, but when they decide they're ready to sleep. Watch what they do. It looks like random wandering around the house. They might check a window, get a drink of water, look at the door, sniff around a bit, walk to another room, then finally circle their bed a few times before lying down. Most people think their dog is just being restless or needs to go potty, but scientists who attach tiny cameras to dogs discovered something absolutely mind-blowing. These aren't random movements at all. Dogs with mother-level attachment to you are actually performing security checks, and they do them in a very specific order based on where you are in the house. Here's what's really happening. Your dog is checking every possible entry point to your home, but only the ones that have a direct path to where you are. If you're upstairs, they completely ignore any downstairs windows or doors that don't lead to the stairs. If you're in the living room, they won't bother checking bedrooms that are far from you. They're creating a mental map of all the ways someone could get to you, and they're making sure each one is secure. But wait, it gets even more incredible. After they finish their security check, they don't just plop down anywhere to sleep. They calculate the exact spot where they can respond the fastest if you move during the night, and they position their body, specifically their head, pointing toward the direction you're most likely to go first. Think about your nightly routine. Do you usually get up to use the bathroom? Your dog will sleep with their head pointing toward the bathroom path. Do you get up early for work and go to the kitchen first? They'll orient themselves toward the kitchen. They're not just sleeping near you for comfort. They're positioning themselves strategically to be your early warning system and to follow you quickly if needed. The timing of this is super precise too. It's always about 30 minutes before they plan to sleep. And here's something wild. They adjust this timing based on subtle cues from you. If you set an alarm, they position themselves differently than on weekends. If you're staying up late working, they'll do their security check late. But it's still 30 minutes before they settle down to sleep. Nobody taught your dog to do this. No trainer showed them how. This is ancient wolf behavior that's been passed down through thousands of generations. Wolf pups who survived were the ones who could secure their sleeping area while staying close to their mother. Your dog is running this same ancient program every single night, treating you as the most important thing they need to protect. Not from danger necessarily, but to make sure they never lose track of you. Number 5. They only touch your clothes with one paw. Leave one of your worn shirts on the floor and watch what your dog does with it. This is where things get really interesting, and most dog owners completely misunderstand what they're seeing. Dogs with normal, typical bonds with their owners might lay completely on the shirt because it smells like you, and that's comforting. Makes sense, right? But dogs who have that super deep mother bond with you do something that seems strange at first. They don't lay on your shirt. Instead, they position themselves so that only one small part of their body, usually just their chin or one paw, is touching your shirt while the rest of their body stays on the regular floor. You might think they're being weird or that they don't really care about your scent, but the opposite is true. What they're doing is so much more meaningful. They're preserving your scent while still maintaining a connection to it. See, if they lay completely on your shirt, their own smell might cover up yours. By keeping just one point of contact, they can access the calming effects of your scent without destroying it. This behavior comes from wolves in the wild, and it's absolutely fascinating. When a mother wolf has to leave her pups to hunt, she creates scent trails so her pups can find her if they get separated. The pups learn not to roll around in these scent markers because that would ruin the trail. Instead, they maintain just enough contact to stay connected to their mother's chemical signature while preserving the trail for emergencies. Your dog is doing the exact same thing with your clothes. That one paw or chin touching your shirt is creating what scientists call a chemical connection to you. Your scent actually triggers calming chemicals in your dog's brain, but only if they can smell it clearly. By touching it lightly, instead of covering it with their whole body, they're keeping that connection as strong as possible. Watch what happens during stressful times. Thunderstorms, fireworks, when strangers visit your house. Dogs with this mother bond will actively seek out something with your scent and maintain that single point contact. They're not trying to hide in your clothes. They're not being destructive. They're using your scent like an emotional anchor to keep themselves calm. Some dogs will even pull clothes out of your laundry basket during stressful times. This is one of the deepest forms of attachment a dog can show. They're using your chemical signature as a source of comfort and security, even when you're not physically there. Number 4, they know what you're going to do before you do it. This is the behavior that makes people think their dog is psychic, but there's actually a scientific explanation that's even more amazing than mind reading. Your dog starts walking toward the door about 2 minutes before you even decide to take them out. They bring you a toy right when you're starting to feel bored. They position themselves beside you moments before you are going to call them over. How do they do this? Are they reading your mind? Not exactly, but what they're actually doing is almost more impressive. Dogs with a deep mother-level bond with you have learned to read hundreds of tiny unconscious signals that you don't even know you're giving off. Think about this for a second. Before you stand up from a chair, you do a bunch of little things without realizing it. Maybe you shift your weight slightly about 40 seconds before standing. Your breathing changes in a specific way. Your foot might move just a tiny bit. You might close your laptop with a slightly different sound when you're done with work versus when you're just taking a break. You have no idea you're doing these things, but your dog has noticed every single one. Dogs with mother-level attachment have created a massive mental database of all your micro-behaviors. They know that when you sigh in a certain way, you're about to get up. But when you sigh slightly differently, you're just tired. They know that when you put your phone down with a particular motion, you're done scrolling and ready to do something else. They can tell the difference between putting on shoes for a walk versus putting on shoes to leave without them. The window for this prediction is usually about 2 to 3 minutes. Your dog can't predict what you'll do in an hour, but within that 2 to 3 minute window, they are incredibly accurate. And here's the really wild part. They're not reading obvious clues like you grabbing their leash or putting on your coat. They are reading the tiny unconscious things you do before you even think about those obvious actions. This ability comes from ancient survival instincts. Wolf pups who could predict what their mother was about to do, whether she was about to hunt, move the den, or flee from danger, were the ones who survived. They didn't wait to be told what to do. They learned to read the tiny signals that came before the big actions. Your dog has the same ability, but instead of using it to survive in the wild, they're using it to stay perfectly in sync with you. Some dogs get so good at this that it genuinely feels like they're reading your mind. But they're not psychic. They've just been studying you every single day, memorizing every little thing you do. And they've gotten so good at it that they know what you're going to do before your conscious brain has even decided to do it. Number 3, they act the opposite of your emotions on purpose. When you're crying or really sad, your dog brings you a toy and starts acting silly and playful. When you're stressed about work or money, they become extra goofy and energetic. When you're angry about something, they become incredibly calm and just lie down near you peacefully. A lot of dog owners think their dog doesn't understand emotions or doesn't care that they're upset. Some even feel hurt that their dog seems to be ignoring their feelings. But what's actually happening is so much more sophisticated and caring than most people realize. Your dog understands your emotions perfectly. In fact, they understand them so well that they're deliberately showing the opposite emotion to help you regulate your feelings. They're not trying to cheer you up or distract you. They're actually offering their emotional state as a template for your brain to follow. When you're around someone who's really calm, you tend to feel calmer yourself, right? When someone near you is laughing and happy, it's hard not to smile a little bit yourself. Our brains are wired to pick up on the emotions of those around us and mirror them. Your dog knows this instinctively, and they're using it to help you. In wolf families, when pups get scared or upset, the mother wolf doesn't join in their fear of sadness. That would just make things worse. Instead, she stays calm and confident, showing the pups what emotional state they should return to. The pups learn to match their mother's calm energy instead of staying stuck in their fear. Your dog has flipped this natural behavior around. Instead of you helping them regulate their emotions, they're trying to help you regulate yours. This only works when your dog has that super deep, secure attachment to you. Dogs who are anxiously attached will actually amplify your emotions. When you're stressed, they get more stressed. When you're sad, they become sad too. Dogs who aren't deeply bonded might just leave the room when you're emotional because they don't know what to do. But dogs on that mother-level bond, they stay right there with you, deliberately projecting the opposite emotional energy. Number 2, they create rules for you after you create rules for them. This behavior really confuses dog owners, and some even think their dog is being spiteful or giving them attitude. Here's what happens. You tell your dog to get off the couch, and they listen, but then they go to their bed. And when you try to pet them, they turn away and move so you can't reach them. Or you stop them from following you to the bathroom, and suddenly later, when you want to follow them to their water bowl or food dish, they block you or move away. A lot of people think their dog is mad at them or trying to get revenge. But what's really happening is actually a sign of the deepest, most secure attachment possible. Your dog is creating their own boundaries immediately after you set yours. You make a rule, they make a rule. This back and forth boundary setting is exactly what happens between wolf mothers and their most bonded pups in the wild. Here's how it works in wolf families. The mother sets limits. Maybe the pups can't nurse anymore, or they can't play right now, or they need to stay away while she eats. The pups who are most securely attached don't just accept these limits. They respond by setting their own boundaries. Maybe they won't let the mother groom them for a while, or they choose when to sleep close versus farther away. Both the mother and the pups have power in the relationship. Both get to say, "not right now," sometimes. Your dog is trying to create this same balanced relationship with you. When they create their own boundary after you set one, they're not being stubborn or difficult. They're confirming that your relationship has mutual respect. They're saying we both get to have needs and boundaries in this relationship. Think about human relationships for a second. In healthy relationships, both people get to set boundaries, right? It's not just one person making all the rules. Your dog instinctively understands this. They know that the healthiest, most secure bonds are ones where both parties have some control and choice. Dogs who instantly obey everything without ever asserting their own needs might seem more obedient, but they're actually showing submission, not deep attachment. The dogs who match your boundaries with their own are showing that they feel secure enough in your love to assert themselves sometimes. They know you won't abandon them for having their own needs. That's incredibly deep trust. Number 1, the nose nibble. You're on the floor, half laughing, half wrestling your dog, and then it happens. That little lunge forward. Not a bite of aggression, but a soft, ridiculous chomp right on the tip of your nose. Just for a second. Then a tail wag, maybe even a sneeze. You laugh it off, but something about it sticks in your mind. Why the nose? It's something they learned as a puppy. Mouthing the faces of their mother and litter mates was how they expressed closeness, trust, and dependency. That gentle little bite is a reenactment of early puppyhood, where the most secure feeling in the world came from snuggling up and mouthing mom's face. You're the center of their emotional gravity, and the nose, funnily enough, is the emotional focal point of your face. Dogs are wired to read our eyes, breath, and scent all at once, and your nose is right in the middle of that sensory triangle. When your dog goes in for a nose nibble, they're telling you, "You're my mom." You've seen the bond when you're together. But what happens when you're gone? What your dog feels might surprise you.